Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1957, 1957. I'm Mike Matthews. Welcome to our little bit of heaven.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's a show where actually this happens only once a year. This is where I'm going to bring you a show. Everybody else is gone though. And I'm testing this new microphone out. It might sound a little strange. We had it fixed. I think I can't think of anything else to say. So I'll nix the rest of the song. It's done. And just say, Mike's Daily Podcast. And it's the one time that I decided
Daily
I was not
Podcast
going to go to the company party, because in my line of work, somebody has to stick around, has to stay and make sure everything is running okay. And so I am doing that today. And podcasting. Yay. And I got some sound effects for you, if I can figure out how to play them. Let's see. I'm going to do one right now. Should I do it now?
Do it!
Okay, I'll do it. Was that good?
Yep.
Okay. So, hello, and welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast, episode 1957, 1957. And it's funny because the room in which I'm using to record this podcast today is also the same one that I used to do years ago. This was the room, and I would have in here a coworker who has since left. And now it's kind of bringing back old memories. This is really great. Okay, well, all right. Let's get to something fascinating to talk about. How about Mike's trying to find a new car? Because it doesn't seem to want to pass smog. So I want to find a little something that has a little sound. No, I don't want it to sound like that. That's annoying. But I was told by someone who used to have a auto shop, don't get a Prius.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Don't get a Tesla, just get a car that gets really good gas mileage, and you don't need to worry about all that battery stuff in order to achieve that. The good quality, the good the mileage. So I'm going to consider that. What do you think? 336mm daily, 3 plus 3 equals 6mm as in Mike Matthews daily, as in what this podcast is, and what... We missed one yesterday, though, I have to admit, because I was so tired. It was like a day where I came home and I was, I got to take a nap. And next thing I know, 2 hours go by. And I'm saying, why? Basil took a nap next to me. There's nothing that puts me to sleep faster than the sound of Basil snoring. It just does, it is so... calming. Thank you, Basil. So, the podcast picture today, not of Basil, but of a recent picture from Lake Elizabeth, where I tend to take a little walk. I walked there a little earlier today, because I'm all about walking, if you've listened to this podcast. And it's a nice view in Fremont, Lake Elizabeth. It has something to do with a lot of water coming down from the mountains, formed Lake Elizabeth years ago. And so it's got this little bit of history to it. Hey, one thing I didn't miss when I lived in Alabama for 2 years, and this happens all the time in California, and I'm really getting fed up with it, and that is where people take up the whole sidewalk. Now, in Alabama, with the stereotype and the truth that when I did live in Alabama, I did get pretty unhealthy. There's just so much fattening food to eat there. Every restaurant is trying to sell you something that's deep fried. They'll take something healthy and deep fry it, or you got delicious barbecue. I mean, there's a lot of delicious stuff in Alabama. How's it all tasting? Is what the question I would get when I was at the restaurant when I'd go eat. And you know what? It tasted delicious. Only thing is it made me fat. And then fatter. And it escalated quickly.
That escalated quickly.
Very quickly. It got out of hand fast.
That really got out of hand fast.
It did. So, but, it was just... Also, Alabama's pretty flat. And here in the Bay Area, you end up finding places to walk that are uphill, and that's good exercise for you to go uphill. Walk uphill, run uphill, try to ride your bike uphill. Forget that. No. I say no to that. But the thing I wonder about is, despite all that in Alabama, you could walk around people. The sidewalks were huge. Here, not so big. But also, I don't know if it's people are less conscientious about like what people are around them, and they just hog up the sidewalk here in California. It's ridiculous. 3 ladies yesterday, 3 short, little, tiny ladies, hogged up the whole sidewalk, and I had to walk in the grass, and it was raining, and my shoes got wet. Wing. I did not appreciate that, and it was because they don't care. They're not concerned about anyone around them. They're not paying attention to anyone behind them. They don't care. So I had to walk around them in the... Why? Why? Then, here's the other question I have. But meanwhile, flip that around. The thing that I don't miss about Alabama is the fact that there is nothing to eat. I mean, there's everything to eat that's delicious and tasty, and how's it all tasting? But they really don't, everything has got to be, how did I put this? If it's all corporate calculated for the flyover state taste buds. It can't be too spicy. It can't be boring. It can't just be like a stick of celery. It's got to have something. It's got to be a stick of celery with a bunch of bacon-infused ranch dressing poured all over it. You can't have anything spicy. Those red chili flakes, forget about it. You won't find those in Alabama. It was pretty boring. It was boring yet delicious food. Does that make any sense? Whereas here in the Bay Area, you have Burmese food, Thai food, Indian, Afghan, you name it, it's all here. So that's, I guess, you have to be thankful, I guess, sometimes. You have to look at where you are. Other times you got to make big changes. Other times you got to go, is this cool that I'm staying here at work while the rest of my coworkers get to party? Is that cool? Was that what I signed up for? You have to ask those questions. Here's something else I wrote down, and I would like to share with you. People that wear perfume and cologne. In my world, what they are doing is they are hiding something. When I smell cologne, I go, they're hiding something. What is it they're hiding? That they didn't take a shower for 3 days? That something just isn't right with them? Now, men, this is something I found interesting. Men really hate other men's cologne. It's like, I don't know if I've seen the same thing with women hating other women's perfume, but the cologne thing, if a guy is wearing a stinky cologne, it gets talked about. Oh, you know so-and-so? His cologne reeks. Oh, it makes me cry. It makes me want to run away. Far. And then I start to cough.
I think I'm getting the black lung, Bob.
And yeah, so it's not good. Okay. And finally, actors who latch onto a character and then that's it for the rest of their career. That's all they do is that one character. And I think in today's world, unfortunately, that seems to be... This is primarily why I don't ever want to become an actor, and why to me it's not awesome. It's bad. Unless I played an anime cartoon character. Pikachu! No, I mean, I would love to do voiceover work. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but it's fun for me. At any rate, it is something that actors get into, and sure, they get the steady work now because they're forever known as the guy who's a rough, tough Italian dude, or the guy who's quirky and funny and goofy and slightly overweight, so he's accessible. Or the woman who's goofy and awkward. Like there's so many... Awkward, I'm I'm nervous and coy and I talk really fast. That kind of... People get so pigeonholed. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing and if that's any good reason to go into acting. Perhaps that was a vocation I'm glad I gave up. I did 2 plays and I said, nope. That'll never happen. That'll never happen. Nope. Yeah, so I'm just very... this is why I don't find watching movies or TV with a well-known actor. Oh, he's going to play that role again. He's going to play that Italian mobster guy. Oh, I can't wait to watch that again. You know, Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry type characters. Arnold Schwarzenegger keeps replaying the same character. It just... I don't know. It's not appropriate behavior to me.
That is not appropriate behavior. Okay?
I'm done with the sound effects for today. Sorry. I went a little overboard with it. But I had a lot to say in that regard. Okay, so people are partying in my workplace. Not at my workplace, but at a restaurant. And I am not there. And there's going to be presents handed out. There's going to be gifts. I think they're even going to do a fun game, and everybody's presents are going to get jumbled up, and I'm not going to get to participate in any of that, and I'm not going to get a prize.
Oh my.
It's not looking good for me. But that's all right, because you know what? I got to talk to you today and do this fun podcast that will forever be, it's going into the Smithsonian, I can tell, and I stole that from someone who says that all the time on their show. Sorry, I broke through and stole it. I took it for myself. Lordy, it's mine now. Hey, let's say hi to some people at Cafe Anyway outside of the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, today.
Hello, my God, it's Chely Shoehart, Lift Chest Advisor. Oh my gosh, we have our own Christmas party happening outside at Cafe Anyway. Mike Matthew.
Yes, thank you. I'm enjoying this wonderful Christmas party. How old is this eggnog? I immediately am feeling a little ill just taking a sip of it.
Mike Matthews, I just bought it. Stop joking around.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It's good eggnog. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere, the engineer. Yes, Mike, you should never look at any eggnog and drink it.
Say what?
Let me rephrase that. You should never drink any eggnog that looks like it's old. Yes. Thank you for that wonderful bit of advice. It was very helpful. Awesome. Yes, eggnog is so fattening and so delicious. And they try and do all these healthy versions, but you just can't do it. And that'll never happen. It's because it's just so... You gotta have all that thick, fatty crap in it that's so good for you and bad for you. I mean, tastes good. How's everything tasting? But no, that's all right. Thank you, John Deere, the engineer, for pointing that out. And Floyd the Floorman, thank you for cleaning up the eggnog that I threw on the floor. Yeah, it's all right. I don't mind. That's how you do it. You just say, I don't mind. And then people go off and have a wonderful Christmas party without you. And that's all right, because you've just said, I don't mind. And everything's fine. But I hope you have a Merry Christmas and get to enjoy your Christmas party at your company. And if you don't, then that's all right. Don't worry about it. You got to spend some time, quality time, with your friends at Cafe Anyway. I think that's how we'll wrap it up. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player and the Brewmaster. Sounds good. We'll do that. What do you think about all this? You can call me 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews Daily, as in what this podcast will try to be this week. But we'll see how that goes. We will see.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!